Now we're going to talk about Gaussian drop shadows. That handout is on the next page. So Gaussian drop shadows, these are going to make more angular, abstract shadows. And many times you're going to find a Gaussian drop shadow makes more sense and looks more realistic than a drop shadow. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to Command O to open, and you are going to want to grab that same file, 3.flower.psd. And again, do a Command 0 to get it to fill your page. This time we are not going to copy, close, and paste it. And then I want you to again take that peek and realize that layer 4 is just the whiteness, and layer 3 is just the vase, not stuck to anything. So let's look at our notes. Step number 1, make sure the object or text that needs a shadow is on its own layer. So as we can see, this orange vase is on its own layer. There's no background stuck to it. Step number 2, Command click the icon of the layer on the Layers palette to get a selection of it. So you're going to bring your mouse over here to the Layers palette. As you can see, my little mouse is right on that little picture. And if I go Command click on the picture, you'll see that I now have marching ants around the vase. So that's a really neat trick for whenever you want to make a selection of something really quick. Step number 3, create a new layer by clicking the new layer icon at the bottom of the Layers palette. So I'm going to come down here by my trash barrel, I'm going to hit plus and get a new layer, and I'm going to come up to the Layers palette, and I'm going to call this one shadow. So again, notice I have a layer that says shadow, I have layer 3 with the marching ants around the selection of the vase, and then I have the white layer. Step number 4, fill the selection with the foreground color black by hitting Option Delete. So up here, we want to make sure we're on the shadow layer. We also want to make sure that our foreground color is actually black. So if you see here, the last time we did something, I changed mine to red. So I want to hit D to make sure I'm in my default colors. And again, I hit D several times to make sure I'm in my default colors. And now you can see down here I have that black and that white. I go back over to my steps where it says step number 4, fill the selection with the foreground color black by hitting Option Delete. So Option Delete. And there you go, now it's black. Then I'm going to Command D to deselect those marching ants. The next thing I'm going to do is move that shadow layer below the object layer. So I'm going to come over to the Layers palette, and I'm going to grab the shadow layer and put it below the vase. And I'm still on that shadow layer. We can't see it, but I'm still on it. So I'm going to go up to Edit, Transform, Distort, and then I'm going to distort it. And if you'd like to write this down, because this is not on the notes, I find it's easiest to grab from the top middle and pull it out. That's going to give you the most accurate. If you grab from that top middle box and then just sort of pull it out and get that shadow wherever you imagine it may fall, depending on where the light was going to shine. And if you like where you've stuck the shadow, you're going to hit the check mark. The next step is you're going to go up to Filter, Blur, and you're going to choose Gaussian Blur. Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And then you're going to just kind of set that to taste, how blurry or not blurry you'd like that shadow to be, depending on where you're imagining the light coming from. And you just move it till you get it where you like it. Then you're going to hit OK. And that's it. So again, then you're just going to do a Shift Command E to merge all visible layers. A file save as. You're going to call this one Gaussian Drop Shadow and give it a name, your name. Save it as a JPEG. Save it. Okay, that's the one you're going to upload to Schoology. And then when you X out of this file, make sure that you don't save this because you don't want to have all those layers stuck together. You may need to go back and use that file again. And that's how you do a Gaussian drop shadow. This is a tricky one, so if you need help, just ask or go back and just watch the tutorial again. Have a great day. Thanks.